a small biz pro, and so we grow. Using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Business Zone with
Crystal
and the Coach Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And folks, today we're going to have an amazing show. We're going to be talking about 2026 for entrepreneurs and moving forward, what it looks like. And my co-host is going to tell you a lot of goodies about that. Well, in the meantime and in between time, co-host, how are you doing?
I am wonderful. Happy New Year to everyone. We are now in 2026, which is a good thing, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. Anything beyond this is going to be better.
Anything beyond this is better, right? Yeah, it's I'm actually happy. Usually I say that in 26 my even years are usually better years, but we'll see because it kind of came with a bang. It was a big bang.
It came with a quick bang, man, and it's trying to
It was a big bang, but we'll see how we are surviving through the big bang.
I hear that. So, co-host, what has your week been like? What have you been doing? Have you been getting any great opportunities, any new opportunities? What's going on, co-host?
Actually, I'm not looking for any new opportunities. I got enough on my plate right now by itself. So, but it was a little rough just getting started. I was so comfortable with my time off that I was struggling getting back into the swing of things. But I did get back in the swing of things. It wasn't easy. So yeah, I'm here. So it started. It started. That's all I can say. It was eye-opening. People calling me at 8 o'clock in the morning, which is you don't even call me 8 o'clock in the morning when I'm in the regular swing.
My co-host don't roll like that. She doesn't wake up that early when she's on her break.
No. And you're calling me wanting to talk? No, I don't want to talk to you people early in the morning. So that's where I was.
But you are totally recovered though, right?
I am recovered. I didn't have any choice. The week was just flying on by, and then next thing I knew, it was today. And so I guess I'm here, and I'm glad to be here at the Business Zone. It's been
man. I miss the show. I miss being on the air. I miss sharing information with the small business and entrepreneurs out there. Most of all, I miss my co-host.
Oh, right, yeah. So I'm kind of happy to be here. I got a new chair. See y'all see my new chair.
Oh, look at you. Got all the headrest action going there.
Headrest action and also head action, and it actually even have massage and heat.
Oh, look at that. Santa must have been good to you.
Yeah. Got a remote.
Oh, look at that.
And massage.
My co-host is stepping it up.
I stepping it up because my back was killing me.
Yeah,
I had a major back thing going on for the last every day I get up from this chair, it was like pain. So now I have massage and heat, and now I feel no pain when I get up from my chair. It even has, I can lean it back and recline and have a leg rest, man.
So you went all out on this thing, huh?
I went all out on the chair. Yes, I did. I treated myself to an excellent gift for Christmas. How was Christmas for you?
Oh man, Christmas was peaceful, quiet, and great. I loved it. I get to do what I like to do best, and is cook my Jamaican meal. So
Okay,
I
okay.
was all over that.
Oh, okay. Did you do some socializing?
A little bit, not too much. As you know, my birthday was after Christmas, so I threw a little birthday party and invited my neighbors and some close friends. We went to this Asian restaurant there in San Gabriel. Was really good.
Oh,
Really.
in San Diego?
No, San Gabriel down the street.
Oh, okay. Like you drove to San Diego
You know I'm not driving to San Diego.
in the
I,
rain?
I don't even want to drive to downtown LA.
Like, really? That's cool. That's cool. So, how does
Yeah,
it feel to
that
be
was
1 year
good.
older?
Huh?
How does it feel to be 1 year older?
I had it confused because I've been pushing my age all this time, and I thought that I was that age last year, but actually I am that age this year. Oh, this is big man, because only old people can do that. only, only old people are allowed to push their age like that.
So you advanced your age by a year last year.
Yeah,
Were you trying to get out of 2025 and hurry up into 2026? Is that what you were doing?
exactly. I was already in 2026 from the beginning of last year.
That's funny,
That's
Gilbert.
hilarious, dude. That's hilarious. And it's my insurance agent who reminded me. He said, "Hey, you're not 67 or whatever the age was. This year you'll be that age." I said, "What?" I said, "Man, I thought I was that all of last year, man." He said, "Hey, man, I
Oh my God.
understand."
Most people, Gilbert, lie back,
Yeah,
down. They don't lie up.
yeah, I'm lying forward.
Yeah, that's not what we normally do. We
He said, "What are you doing here? You're not that age yet. You know, at December 31st, you'll be climbing over into that new age." I said, "All right."
wow.
That's the first time in
Okay.
my life that ever happened. And sometimes, and I see this synonymously with women sometimes. Sometimes they say their age and then they forget what the age is. So then when they're saying the age, they're saying the wrong one, but it's because they're used to saying the wrong age.
Right, exactly. Yeah, they're
But
not trying to be correct in the first place.
no. Hey, we got Pat here on the line. Good day, Pat. How you
Hey,
doing?
Pat.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. I just go with 60 plus.
Then you can't go wrong. You can never go wrong if you say 60 plus.
60
I'm
plus.
probably going to use that too, Cole. So then I can't be wrong. Then they won't call me a liar.
Right, exactly. I'm just over 60. I'm old.
Yeah,
I'm
over
old
60.
enough to
There you
get.
go.
I am old enough to get benefits. So I get Medicare, and I can get in places for Medicare rates.
The question is, are we going to get it though? Because we don't even know if they're going to try to provide that for us. They're talking, oh, the fund is depleted. We don't have any more money left. And, this is crazy, man.
Well, I heard yesterday, and so we're going to jump on in. First of all, we want to welcome you all to the Business Zone. We hope you had a wonderful holiday season, enjoyed yourself, enjoyed your family, spent some time getting some rest and relaxation, because I think that was very important. Everybody, last year was really quite stressful for everyone. And so I
Yeah,
hope you guys did that. My Christmas actually really was nice. We just
good.
did Christmas stuff and enjoyed the family, and we had relatives come in, and my brother-in-law made some incredible food, and his brother came in from Florida, and they had a fish fry from fish that he actually caught in their freshwater lakes.
I want to do a cook-off with your brother-in-law, man.
Yeah,
I know he's probably going to beat me, but hey, I just want to compete with him for a little bit because I hear about all these fantastic meals that he makes, and maybe I'll come a distant second behind him. But I just want to compete with a professional like him.
yeah, boy, he really went there. I mean, everything for Thanksgiving and well, for Christmas he didn't do turkey or anything. He did brisket, and he did we just had brisket actually. Brisket
Oh,
and
wow.
sweet potato yams and dressing. He just did a whole lot of stuff to go along with it, but it was macaroni and cheese, which is really his claim to fame. His
Yeah.
macaroni and cheese is just beyond anything anyone has ever had. His macaroni and cheese is on point. And that's what we did.
I've never been, someone who really cared for macaroni and cheese, in any way, shape, or form. But based on what you're saying right now, I think I want to try it.
Yeah, his macaroni and cheese is he does a fantastic job with the macaroni and cheese. He just takes it to a whole nother level. And
Yeah.
so that was good. And I believe we had greens. I think we had some string beans. And so yeah, we ate well. And then on that Saturday had fish fry. And everything was deep, he did I think it was brill, and that's like a Florida type of fish.
Yeah.
Brill. So it was just like a little round fish. The bones and everything was in there. I don't really eat fish, so I didn't partake.
Oh, you don't eat fish, Charles?
Not really.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
And he did only fish I eat is red snapper and salmon sometimes.
So that's one thing I don't know about my co-host.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a fish eater. Can't eat shellfish at all. I'm allergic to all shellfish. And yeah, but he did a good job in the seafood. I mean, when he did the fish fry, he fried the wings and vegetables. He did like a tempura.
He went all out.
Yeah, so yeah, they went all out, so it was great. So, but
Is
anyway,
he a professional chef co-host? Is he a professional? Because I want to know what I'm going up against.
It's interesting. In his whole family,
yeah,
all the men cook. Every last one of the men, and there's 13 children.
Yeah,
and I think 5 of them are men, and all 5 of them. And nobody took lessons. It just came naturally to them.
Is he from the Caribbean? Is he from the Caribbean?
No, they're from Florida. They were born here. They were born here. His parents were born in Florida.
So they're FBAs then. They're foundational blacks.
Yeah, they're foundational. Yeah. Now that's a first.
That's what they tell us, if we weren't born here, they say, you're not FBA. I'm going, why am I not FBA? You're not foundational black.
I have never heard that. I guess.
You never heard that?
No, I've never heard.
That's a big old thing going on the internet, man. They're trying to separate the blacks. They said, if you're from Africa, the Caribbean, or anywhere else, you're not foundational black. They call you tether. If you're not from here, you're tether.
Okay.
So I'm a tether.
Oh my goodness. Who knew? Oh, Lordy have mercy, new things. Well, I guess that's the kind of world we're living in.
Yes.
So there's some craziness going on. So just so we can keep all up to date, everyone, I'm sure you guys, the Venezuela stuff, which happened January 3rd, which was interesting all by itself. And then we had
what happened on January 3rd?
That's when he invaded and captured the
Venezuela. Yeah.
Venezuela. Went in. I'm just not sure if it's that easy to go into another country and steal their president, kidnap their president. how come that has not been done here?
Yeah,
I just don't
yeah,
understand.
he's gonna be dealing with some war crimes issues, man, at some
Yeah,
point. So
yeah, because we would open up the door and let you come get him. Uh, but that, and then you had then of course what happened yesterday, and so we just really want to express our prayers to the family of the young woman that got that was shot by an ICE agent in Minnesota on yesterday. Actually, a 37-year-old woman with a child was I just want to call it what it is. She was murdered
yeah.
in Minnesota
So
yesterday.
what happened? They pulled her over. What's the deal?
No, they were ICE agents had been sent to Minnesota. And I'm gonna tell y'all why in a minute. So ICE agents were sent to Minnesota to round up immigrants, and the people that lived in the neighborhood that they happened to go into, they were all protesting and against it. And so the young woman, her name is Renee, she
Uh-huh.
was uh, going in the same area to pick up her child from school, her 6-year-old from school, and they thought she was trying to prevent the ICE agents from getting to the to whoever they were chasing. And so they told her to get in her car and get out of the way. So she was pulling back, and then this agent hung onto her door, and then the other one came walking up to her and just shot her in the face through the window.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
insane.
there's going to be a major investigation on that.
Yeah, there is. So now, why did all of this happen? Well, we've been waiting for those wonderful Epstein reports to come through, and their deadline was the 7th. Today is the 8th, and they didn't want that to happen, so we had to create distraction, and
So that's a distraction, huh?
that was one of the distractions. And also, why that was going on, and this kind of falls into your area of expertise, Gilbert,
Yeah.
was that if you guys will recall back, I guess that was in I don't know, 2022, Trump had been a lawsuit was filed against him, and he was guilty of attacking and assaulting E.J. Carroll, right? Was that Carroll? Is that what her name was?
What's the
And
name? What's
remember
the
the
name?
lady that he won the lawsuit twice?
Oh, she was like his assistant or secretary or somebody, right?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if she was an assistant, but whatever it was, the lawsuit was $454 million. That was the lawsuit that and the lawsuit that Letitia James was he lost that one as well, where he
Yeah.
overestimated or
He overreached.
he overreached on the value of his properties. Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. So he had to put up a surety bond because he didn't have the money
Yeah.
to pay the lawsuits, right? Either one. And so they reach over $1 billion. And so
Wow.
he was searching for companies that would issue a surety bond for him for those totals. But they, of course, he had to release his financial records in order for them to make sure they could value the property and that he hadn't overstated the value of the property based on his financial records and his tax returns. And he had been fighting to keep that secret. So they finally got the tax records released and realized he don't have no money.
Whew.
And so that means if anybody knows how a surety bond, and Gilbert, you can give them more info because those are things that contracts are based upon, right? You have to be bonded, and a surety bond basically is a third party that will compensate the person that you're obligated to pay if
Yeah.
for any losses. And they found out that his documentation was falsified.
Wow. Wow.
So
So
basically,
that is not a prison criminal offense where they can put you in prison for that.
it is. They also
So,
can put you in prison for lying on your taxes.
so they're not going to touch him until after he leaves office, then, huh?
Well, it turns out that, and this is the Supreme Court came through. The Supreme Court said this happened in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
He was no longer the president. And all
Oh,
the other over evaluation of his property was before he became a president. So there is
oh.
no immunity for any of that.
Mm-mm-mm.
So now they've poured through all the documents. They got the tax returns, over a decade of tax returns, and he has lied on each and every tax return.
Oh my Lord. Woo.
That's what they got Capone on.
When in doubt, go to the tax return.
When in doubt, tax returns, tax returns, tax returns. And so that is where he is now. So what did we do? He just became the real Tasmanian devil, boy. He lost his mind. And so that is some of what is going on right now. So the federal government, not the one that he controls,
Right.
has padlocked the Trump Tower,
Yeah.
Mar-a-Lago, and his Bed-Stuy, his golf course, and any building that has his name on it.
Mm-mm-mm.
And they also found out that Deutsche Bank gave him money knowing that he could not back it up. So that's where we are right today.
Who gave him money? Who gave him money?
Deutsche Bank.
Oh, yes.
And they have documentation on all of that.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, so that's where we are today. So
Oh,
that
yeah.
is why you guys have been seeing all the craziness, and I'm sure it's going to get crazier. But
I
all I
am-
know is if you have to get an surety bond, man, you better make sure that everything that you tell it is true.
Well, that's one of the things that we teach contractors in the procurement space, that you never want to lie on surety bonds, because they may not research or verify the information today, this week, next week, but at some point they will, because organizations like those they're subject to audits. So when those audits are effected or executed, they go back. They go back and look at multiple years. So if they come across an application that's fraudulent, man, one, they can demand their money upon request. And on top of that, they can put penalties, late fees and all of those things, man. So contractors know that they're not supposed to do that, because some of them have tried it and they suffer the consequence. So, so they know better. They know better.
Yeah, at least they hope so. So that's kind of what's been going on. But that kind of is how we're going to open up with this year's topics is next level entrepreneurship, man.
Yeah.
What you guys did or what anybody's been doing in the past is just not going to be significant or sufficient in order to survive in the future. We have to be doing the top level business. And so, Gilbert and I both are coaches. And so we're going to ensure our clients are operating the way they should, but everyone should be really thinking about what 2026 is going to bring and how they should be conducting business in the future. So that's kind of what our topic is going to be today.
Yeah. So, guys, if you're thinking about what your business is going to be in 2026 and beyond, that's what we're going to cover today. We're going to share some So information with you will make you start thinking, becoming forward looking and forward thinking. You start looking at, maybe the events that's coming up this year, the World Cup, FIFA World Cup, the NBA All-Star games that you guys can participate in. And then also in 2028 with the Olympics. So you want to start preparing yourselves for those types of activities and a different trend in procurement. It's different. I was teaching my class the other night, co-host, my
Mhm.
mentorship class, and somebody mentioned about sole source contracting. Now, sole source contracting, first of all, it's illegal. The government doesn't allow that anymore in government contracting, so that's illegal. But with the current atmosphere in Washington right now, I can see something like that start creeping back in
Now,
because
what is sole source resourcing?
yeah. So sole source contracting is when the government award a contract only to one company. They don't put it out to bid. They just award it. Like for example, if I'm the government and I need a company to do major audits and financial reporting, and I just reach out to you and award the contract to you without even putting it out to bid, then that's illegal. It's not supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be transparency, and it's supposed to be equal opportunity, equal access to those things. So that's what the whole sole source contracting atmosphere is about. But we're kind of seeing that a lot of that is happening in Washington right now because there's a certain South African who's been getting all these contracts for their space program and for their car manufacturing facilities and all of that stuff.
Hmm.
And there are other manufacturers out there who should be able to compete for those things, but they don't. They make it a sole source contract, which is supposed
Ah,
to be illegal. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays back into 2026 and beyond.
wow. So guys, basically, defining what entrepreneurship and that next level of entrepreneurship for small businesses, for all businesses for that matter, going 26 and beyond, it's going to be we're in a very transformational era right now. Everything that we do is being shaped by technology, funding sources for our business, and making sure that we have an evolving consumer expectation. One of the things I noticed, Gilbert, is for whatever reason, a lot of these very, very rich companies no longer think that they need the consumer.
Exactly. Exactly.
and
Yeah.
And so you can't function if there is no one to buy from you. Then how the heck are you gonna make money? I mean, being able to have your customers that is the first lesson. First lesson is that the business is feasible. The second lesson is that you have customers, a target market, and a grouping of people, a large grouping of people that will be able to pay for the services that you provide. Those are the fundamentals, in my opinion, of businesses. That's how I teach kids. Is those are the fundamentals, right? But for whatever reason, they're under this new impression that who cares that you have customers and we treat them properly. They don't drive my business. Now, I don't know when it changed, but I know if I don't go spend money for your product or your service, you're not going to make any money. That I do know.
You know what they think, co-hosts? They think that just like with the elections, right? They
Hmm.
think that consumers have to rely on them and they can do whatever they want in the marketplace. The big companies, they can do whatever they want, and small businesses have nowhere else to go. Consumers have nowhere else to go. They have to rely on them. So that's why they treat consumers so shabby, because they're going, hey, no matter what we do to them, they're still going to come back to us. They're not going to go anywhere. Who are they going to go to? So that's the kind of philosophy they're pushing out there. And they do the same thing to small businesses, contract providers and the primes, they do the same thing. So what we're going to present today is going to show small businesses and entrepreneurs and micro businesses how things can be different and how it will be different and how they can operate to get around a lot of that, so they don't have to rely on primes and all of those bigger fish.
Exactly. All right. So before we do that, guys, we're kind of excited to kick off this topic, and we're going to be talking about this for next couple of months, because we're in the beginning of the year, and we want you to start out right. Right. We want you guys to really start to look at your businesses with a different eyeball, and we got to look at elevating elevating our businesses to that next level. And so hopefully the information that we're going to be sharing today will do exactly that. Now, before we get started, we just want you guys to know you can go over to our YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button. We're asking you to subscribe. We're asking you to like if you enjoy the episode. We're asking you to share the information with your other cohorts and colleagues, if you feel that it will help them as well in their business. And so we're on YouTube. We stream live on YouTube. We're on Facebook under the Business Zone. We're on LinkedIn under my LinkedIn, Crystal Mitchell, and you can find us definitely on YouTube. So go on over there, hit that subscribe button. We've been on the air, Gilbert. We're now going into our 11th year.
Really? That long? Holy moly.
I know, huh? Providing all of this wonderful information to help businesses become successful.
Yes. This is amazing, co-host. I think eventually we're going to have to get a studio and start doing some stuff so folks can see what we do and, come to the studio to visit and all that stuff.
I think so. I think that's probably not a bad idea. We can,
Yes.
we always have to have always be evolving. Business always has to evolve. All right, we're ready to jump into our conversation today.
I think when I win that next big government contract, or I'm gonna just use some of that funding to launch our studio.
All righty, sounds good to me. Okay, you want to kick us off, and
yes,
we can go from there.
Yes. Let me do that. Let me bring it up. Did you want me to share it, or do you want us to just go through it?
We just go through it.
Huh?
We just go through it.
Okay. All right. So, folks, we've got, quite a bit of information here today. So here's how we're going to deliver this information to you. We're going to do it alternately. I'm going to cover a certain part, then my co-host will cover another section. I cover the next section. That's how we're going to do it back and forth. Okay. And if you guys have any questions at all, please put those questions in the chat so that we can definitely address them for you. Want to address them on the spot, okay? So, with that being said, the topic of today's show is, what does next level entrepreneurship look like for small businesses in 2026 and beyond? So, what we're trying to put out there to make you guys understand is that next level entrepreneurship in 2026 and beyond is less about starting a business and more about building a resilient, adaptive enterprise. So whatever business you have right now, you want to start evaluating it to see if it's set up to be resilient. And also, is it adaptive? Can you If something is required of you on the spot, can you do that? If let's say you get a contract and the contract requires you to make a lot of changes in your operational procedures, can you do that on the spot? Can you do it within 5 to 7 days? Can you comply with what the contract provider is asking for? That's really how you want to start looking at your business moving forward, because the thing about it is contract providers, they're going to, some of them will try to give you an opportunity, and if they feel like you cannot perform on the spot, they're going to move on to one of your competitors. So you don't really want to lose any opportunities, guys. You want to be there. You want to show that you can grow. You want to show that you can pivot. You want to do all of these things so you can attract capital, and also to grow the business, sustain the business in a volatile environment like it is right now. Because as many of you know, the government in Washington, they're trying to change a lot for small businesses, and it's not in a good way. They're trying to take away a lot of opportunities. They're taking away a lot of access that we had before to government contracts. Certain certifications like the SBA 8A certification program, they're talking about getting rid of. They're talking about getting rid of the DBE program. So all of those things are things that you want to start looking at and start pivoting your business to see, okay, how else can we get business? How else can we go after business? So these are some of the things we're going to talk about as we cover this thing today. Now, and this is going to be
just before you go there. Here's
yeah,
the thing: we're at the beginning of the year, and so
yeah,
this is a good time. Everyone should be going back and reviewing what happened last year and what should be going and what can you do to change it for this year so that it looks entirely different
yes,
um, than it did last year. How do you
yeah,
increase your revenue? How do you increase uh, um, your products and make it better or elevate your products or
right,
evolve it? And
right,
when is it time to bring on employees? Because the one thing I know, Gilbert, is as a sole employer, a sole proprietor, if
hmm,
you don't have a lot of business partners that can help create expansion, then you
yeah.
need employees to do that.
Yes, 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 definitely. And if you don't have employees, then you can try to get consultants, hire consultants to help you. You know, you may want to call them 1099s or whatever you want to call them, but those are resources you want to bring in to help you.
Exactly.
And I went to this bakery yesterday, co-host. This is a little sidebar there. I went to
Mhm.
this bakery yesterday and in San Gabriel, and it was a really nice bakery. I hear they've been around for a while. I'm not going to say their name because I'm not giving them any free promotions. But what I noticed they did, they reach out to the Alhambra High School and reach out to some of the students there, brought them in like a mentorship program. So they have those high school kids in there working, and while they're working to help the owner become more productive, they are receiving experience and knowledge, you know? So I see stuff like that happening in 2026 and beyond for small businesses, where if you can hire, then you're going to start bringing in folks, from high school or from maybe colleges to help you out in somewhat of an apprentice or a mentorship type program. So those are some of the things we're going to see from 2026 moving forward.
And guess what? That's a tax write-off because
Yeah.
if you're creating what I would call a apprenticeship program where you're teaching skills that will enhance the workforce out there, which is very important in this day and age, especially if you have any kind of trade type of business or businesses like bakeries and any of those artisan businesses. You're passing off your skills to help develop skills in this younger population, and
Yeah.
their actual tax benefits for that.
Right. Right. Right.
So something to
Exactly.
think about, guys.
And this is going to be happening across all industries. You know, whether you're professional services, construction, retail, catering, restauranting, digital businesses. You know, all of those types of things. Social media, IT, you name it. And later on in this presentation, we're gonna include the aspects of AI into this and show you how, you know, all of these different areas in business is helping to move business in a different direction.
Mhm.
So below we're gonna go over some future ready view of what the next level actually looks like. So I'm going to cover the first part, and then my co-host will cover the second part, which involves capital awareness. Okay.
Okay.
So on, on the first part here, which is hustle, you're gonna be looking at your business from when people started businesses, say in over the last 10, 20 years, they look at it like it's a hustle, and the things they're doing, they gotta do what they've got to do in order to generate money and make and sustain the business. But that's an informal way of doing it. So we're going to be moving from hustle, which is informal, to systems first type business, which is the systems first is more of a formal type, because you're building a system that will make your business function on a higher level. And as you guys can remember, even in my mentorship classes, or on this podcast, I've said to you before that business is pretty much two dimensions, right? Two dimensions. It's an art and a science. Your
Mm.
business is an art and a science. And the art is the beautiful things you do, the craft you know very well, that and the way you display it, the way you attract your customers by just what you do, that is the art. The beautifulness of it, the prettiness, right? That's the art. The science part of it is the processes, the systems that you develop, compliance, all of those things are the science part of it, making things work, putting systems and processes in place so you can obtain contracts. That's the science. So keep that in mind when you're running your business. It's an art and a science. And not every entrepreneur has both of those skills. Some entrepreneur has the art side. Let's say you're running a bakery, you make nice pastries, they look very attractive, very appealing, very tasty. But the back office part, with the accounting, the bookkeeping, the operations, all of those things, you may bring someone else to do that part because you're not strong in that area. And as my co-host and I know, most small businesses are not good with the finances. When it comes to bookkeeping and accounting, they're not good at that. So if you're not good at that, you bring in someone who can help you master that. So that's really what this hustle, from a hustle to system first approach is. So then in this approach, the owner is the system is more owner centered. So if you're doing owner center approach, and this is the hustle, this is from the hustle part, the owner center part. So everything is focused on the owner, and the owner has to make sure they set the tone, they lead, and make sure that their team, and their staff follow and follow very well. This is tied to growth as well, with some personal effort from not just the owner, but also from the team. Next level, we're looking at documented system to run the business. And part of that comes with AI and automation, and using dashboard to support decisions. In Small Biz Pro, you guys have a dashboard which tells you how many documents you have in the system in your account. It tells you what account you've chosen, whether it's a platinum, the bronze, the silver, and then it also tells you what how ready you are, because it tells you how many documents you've uploaded in each section and how ready you are, how close you are to readiness in terms of certification, in terms of contract readiness. So those are some of the things that you can achieve through dashboards. Okay. And if you guys are not familiar with dashboard is like usually a page or a one dimension document that will help. I wouldn't call it a one dimension, but it's a single document with multiple features on it, like tabs, for example. And it will tell you about your performance. You know, how well are you performing? Are you sticking to task? If it's touching on the finance part of it, it tells you about your budgeting. How much are you bringing in terms of income and revenue, and how much are you spending? How much are you putting out of there? And is there a balance? You know, are you off keel? Do you need a loan? Do you need to talk to a bookkeeper like my co-host? Do you need to speak to a coach? So those are things that you can achieve from the dashboard. Okay, you have certain talents you can bring in, just like I mentioned earlier about those kids as interns, as apprentices, or as mentees, you know, prodigies, all of those things. So that's what it is, and it helps to provide a level of maturity for your business, because it's showing your ability to pivot, go in different direction, do things on the spot. So with that, I'm going to hand over the section 2 to my co-host, which is about capital awareness. So, co-host, do you want to touch on that?
I most definitely do. And just to add to what you were saying, Gilbert, as well, is you don't want to wait until you're in a crisis mode. You want to be able to identify these areas before you actually need these areas, understanding what your gaps are.
Yes.
And being able to solidify those gaps with these tools so that you don't have to work hard. Business should not have to be, it's not a struggle. And I know in my coaching practice, sometimes my clients just make everything so complicated. You're hearing them talk and you're going like, you're exhausting me. I know you must be exhausted because I'm listening to you, and they're just sending themselves into this revolving circle when it doesn't have to be that complicated.
Co-host, you know what I tell my clients all the time? I tell them bite size. Do things in bite size. You don't have to talk too much and over explain. Just say a few words to explain what you say. You know, if you're writing something, just put bullet points. You don't have to write paragraphs.
They overcomplicate and they just, and then it's like, okay, I've overcomplicated this so much. I got to start from the beginning.
Yeah.
You're gonna start from the beginning? No, you don't have to start from the beginning. Let's just not complicate things.
Right.
So, and one of those things that they complicate is the capital, the understanding their money, understanding their cash flow, and knowing that cash flow isn't the revenue. The revenue is the money that you're bringing into your business, right?
Yeah.
But the revenue is not what is driving the business. What is driving the business from day to day to day to day is the cash flow. So understanding how the money is moving within the business. And I will say this, the more complicated your business is, the more complicated your cash flow.
That's true. I think you should put that slogan on a t-shirt. The more complicated you make your business, the more complicated your cash flow will be. I love
it. So you just want to understand and make sure that you have enough money to to cover all of your basic needs, um, your fixed expenses. And so those fixed expenses in business are very much like fixed expenses at home. And this is how I usually explain financials. It's not complicated. At home, you have money coming in, and that money coming in has to take care of the mortgage, the rent, the essentials, your telecommunications, your phones, your utilities, your any loans that you may have, as well as and food. So food, shelter, and some clothes. That's the basics
Yeah.
of life, right? So in business, it's the same thing. I like to use this as a what keeps the doors open. So one, you need if you're in a brick and mortar, you need to keep the roof over your head, right? You have to communicate with your customers, so you need to have internet, you need to have your equipment, and you need to have your telephone. This is how you communicate with your customers, right? So those are the essential fixed expenses. If you have employees, then you have to make sure you're paying them because they're the ones that's helping you facilitate. Now, you want to make sure you have access to flexible capital, because if you're doing big contracts and things like that, you need to have reserves. So, depending on the type of business that you're in, you need to be able to maintain some reserves so that you can, if something comes up for emergencies and so forth, you have what you need. You have what you need at that point. You don't have to go get it. You already have what you need. Okay. Um, you want to make sure that in your accounting, your accounts receivable, this is your invoicing, making sure that you're invoicing on time, making sure that you have the right contracts in place to ensure that you get paid on time. I always tell my clients, Gilbert, that they have full control over contracts in the sense that all contracts don't have to be signed on the first day of the month or
Right.
the last day of the month. Contracts can be signed staggering. I say stagger them or bring in clients staggering so that you always have enough money to cover all of your fixed expenses throughout the month, and not just the 1 month. You want to be able to look forward for at least 3 to 6 months that you have enough money to cover what you need in order to move forward. And then the next thing is build a relationship with your bank early. If you're just starting your business, you need to connect with your bank right now and have a sit down conversation and let them know who you are and what type of business you're needing and where you need to go with your business and how can they help you. Don't wait to go to the bank because you need money yesterday and think that they're going to process a loan for yesterday. They're not going to do that. They don't know you from Adam, and that you need to build a relationship. So build that relationship because you need that relationship. And so, and the shift in thinking, mindset thinking is, can we afford this? When you got to be doing pre-planning, you got to be strategic in business. Make sure that you understand where the money is and how strong your balance sheet is and what assets you have or potential assets you could have, so that when you go looking for that money, you're not scrambling and trying to piece it together while you're sitting in front of the loan officer and he's seeing you sweat bullets because you are in desperate need of this money. So just be very, and this is going to be vitally important in 2026 and beyond, because money is going to be tight.
And also one other point to that is, in 2026 and beyond, it's recommended that business owners start thinking like CFOs, chief financial officers.
Yes.
Even if you never held the title before, you want to start thinking that way. And if you don't know what they do, I would recommend you guys go on Google and type in CFOs, what's their role and responsibilities, and see what is it they do and start adapting some of that. Because in essence, you guys are CFOs. You're running your own business, you're a single owner operation. You're the CFO
You
too.
the CEO, you the CFO, you the COO, you the CTO, you the all them alphabets.
You are the CEO, the CFO, the UFO, all kinds of
All of the alphabets.
all of the letters in the alphabet. And guys, just remember this, man. It's really important. If you don't know what a balance sheet is, don't be ashamed that you don't know what the balance sheet. If you don't know what's on it, you set up an appointment with my co-host Crystal and see if you can talk to her about those things so she can educate you guys on what a balance sheet is and why a balance sheet is so important to your business. Because many small businesses, they don't understand money coming into their business and going out of their business and why. You want to ask questions. That's what my co-host just said. One of the questions you're going to ask yourself: can we afford this? And do we have the strength in our balance sheet to take care of this? So when you're trying to purchase certain items in your business, you may not have the money, you may not have the capital or funding to do it. So by having someone like her to say, well, now I'm not saying no yet, but let's look at some other areas that we can either cut or minimize in order for you to get this fund to purchase what you want to purchase, and those are some things that can save you, right, co-host?
Yep, exactly. Those are the things. So just shifting how you think about your business. Because most people, Gilbert, I find that they're so concentrated on that product, right?
Yeah,
Selling that product or that service. And that's important, but
yeah,
it's more than that, right? Yes, it's what's driving that balance sheet and the revenue coming into your business. But the focus is on the system and the structuring of the business. The
yes,
side hustle is the product,
yeah,
right? When you're just hustling the product to make some dollars
yeah.
to come into the business or into the bank account, that's the hustle of a product. That's not
Mhm.
thinking of the business as a whole.
Right,
So
exactly.
you
So,
got to
so
think of your business as a business with longevity.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You want to think of your business in terms of legacy. You want to pass it down to your kids, to your grandkids, and all of that. You want to have multiple generations running that business. So
Exactly.
the next item on our list here of what small businesses need to know in terms of entrepreneurship so they can go through 2026 and beyond is compliance. All of you guys out there who have listened to me, interfaced with me, dealt with me before, know that I'm a big proponent of compliance.
Mm.
If your company is in compliance, then you're positioned to be in a better position to obtain contracts, to obtain opportunities, to obtain funding. Those things are key. So compliance is a big part of your business operation. And I know a lot of people, I don't want to do that. You got to do it. Compliance is key. It's not whether you want to do it or not, is that you will do it. So keep that in mind. Now, risk and trust is always competitive advantages in your business, because if someone can trust you, then they will want to do business with you. But if they cannot trust you, they don't feel they can trust you, they can't trust you to deliver on time, they can't trust you to provide them a product or a service at a reasonable rate, they can trust you to provide them quality work and make sure you back it up with some level of warranty, then that could hurt you a lot. You could probably not get any business opportunity again from that client or customer. So keep that in mind. And for the trust part, risk, you want to look at risk like, hey, there's no way I'm going to expose my client to any risk. I want to look at those risks myself and see how I can mitigate those risks or minimize the exposure to those risks. So keep that in mind. Now, as we know, in 2026 and beyond, trust is currency. Trust is currency. I've gotten contracts before, co-host, that I didn't even bid on, but because these contractors are aware of my background, they're aware of my work, my track record. They reach out to me and say, "Hey, I want to bring you on my team to perform this type of work." Right? There was no bidding or anything like that. I just received the opportunity because people trust me.
Right.
So I would love for you guys to, and that trust is currency, because now you can take that to the bank. Bank is going to rely on you because they know your track record. They're going to say, okay, we're going to give you this $50,000 line of credit because we know that you can deliver.
Right.
And that is key. That is key. And I'm sure, co-host, you've seen that transpire too with the businesses or the clients that you work with, right?
Yeah, exactly. In fact, what you just said is very important, Gilbert. Is the fact that people, there is no unique product out there that you done brought on the marketplace that nobody else doesn't have, right? So it's not about the competition is really about you and what you're delivering and how you're delivering it and how it's packaged. And most importantly, is your story, right? It's the uniqueness of you. And so if people know that you have a certain standard and you've delivered that and been delivering that standard for however many years you've been in business, then the product is going to stand on its own, right?
Yeah.
Just based upon how you deliver it. So I know, yes, we all have a competition, but we have advantages over that competition. And I like to tell people, pretty much everyone that I know in my circle, my professional circle, we're all business coaches.
Yeah.
But I don't ever feel threatened by any business coach because I have my way and I've developed and created a reputation within the space that I am in, that it has created that advantage for me. So, yeah. But other people, that again, paying attention to how you're running your business as opposed to what you're selling.
Yes. That is so true. And I know for some of the folks who are listening to the show today, many of them may say, I don't want to hear that right now. But as time progresses, guess what? The words my co-host just spoke, it's going to start ringing in your ears over and over. And you're going to go, you know what? I remember she said that on this show. You know what? Let me just do this right now. And that's all it takes. That's all it takes, is to have someone's words haunting you. And if those words are haunting you, it's going to force you to do something about it. So, yeah, my co-host, she made some very good points right there about the aspect of trust in the business, currency, credibility. Now, I want to let you know that next level firms, next level businesses are contract ready. Next level businesses are business ready. Next level businesses are loan ready.
All them readies, huh?
All of them. And the last one is audit ready. Audit ready means that you should be ready at all times for someone to audit your books, audit your operation, to make sure you're doing things the right way. And you shouldn't be resistant to audits. My co-host does audit all the time, all the time. She audit books, she audit records. People are not in compliance. She has to work with them to get them in compliance. Certain documentation they need to have, they don't have it. So she has to coach them, counsel them, consult with them, and let them know what they need to have so they can be in the game. They can be ready.
Yeah, for
You know,
sure. Yeah.
exactly. So you want to treat compliance in your business as an infrastructure. So your infrastructure is going to be built in such a way that each part or each segment in your business has some level of checks and balances. For example, you want to reconcile your financial statements every month, not at the end of the year, every month, guys. Every month you reconcile. That's a form of compliance right there. And that's part of your infrastructure. So once every month you look at those financials and you go, oh, man, I spend this much money. How much did I take in? And then you start looking at that, you start balancing what you spend versus what came in, then you're on your way to treating that compliance aspect as infrastructure in your business. It's not overhead, guys. When you look at compliance and infrastructure, it's not overhead. It's
No.
just an aspect of your business that helps you to function on a high level. Okay. You want to protect your data. And that's why record keeping is so crucial in businesses. We have this platform, Small Biz Pro, to help small businesses manage their data, their documents. And a lot of people don't take it seriously, but it does help you. And you get the information, you get that storage ability for 7 years. So it
Yeah.
keeps your records for 7 years. Not too many systems I know out there keep your records for 7 years. So this is one of the things that you want to look at. So protecting your data, it means having some level of IT in the system. And that's why we had our guest on, was it last week? No, not last week, the week before. We had
Just before the holidays, we had which one? The cyber lady. We had two amazing guests just before
cybersecurity.
cyber care about 3 weeks ago. She's going to be
Yeah.
our in-house cyber lady.
Yes. So she spoke about all of those different aspects that you can use to protect your data, protect your systems, and you guys need to take it seriously. Like, for example, you receive those bogus emails in your email every day. You don't know who they're coming from, and you're clicking and opening it. Do not do that, guys. That can destroy your complete computer. It can destroy your data. It can destroy your operation and mess you up so you can't interface with your clients. So keep that in mind. Protect your data. Some people use different systems out there. I don't know. Well, I do know the name of some, but I'm not going to promote them because they're not sponsoring our show. And they're not paying us money. So not going to say their names. I'll only speak to our guests by my one of the participant in my mentorship program, Miss Lisa Brown. She speaks highly of cybersecurity and protecting data and all of that. So that's what I'll do. And I'm telling you guys, when your system is protected, it gives you that level of confidence, man. So you're walking with your chest up in the air, man. You go, yeah, I'm safe. I don't have to worry about malware and all of that.
Exactly. and also, Gilbert, your phone.
Yeah.
Our phones are just like little computers. And
Yeah.
so you want to make sure utilizing your phone that you stay, make sure that you do your updates on your phone, not just your phone, on your computers,
Yeah.
on your cell phone, on your tablets. Make
Yeah.
sure you are doing the updates because there's cyber, as Lisa had when she came on and she talked about this. Cybersecurity is real. And the
Yeah.
small businesses are the ones that they're actually coming after
Yeah.
these days. And so you want to make sure that you are protecting your assets. And that's, in our phones, we have our bank information, we have contact information, we have everything that's important to us is on this little handheld computer that we have. And
Yes.
so you want to make sure don't sleep on that. And the other
Right.
thing I found out recently, Gilbert, if you have an older computer
Yes.
and you cannot update to Windows 11, if anything, Windows 10 and below is your operating system, then your system is wide open for any kind of cyber attacks that they are out there, because the new security patches cannot update on those particular computers. So you want to make sure that you have current operating systems on your computers because you do all your work there. And same thing with your home. Everything is tech based these days. So don't leave your as Lisa said, don't leave yourself open and just like it's like opening the doors to the thieves. Just come on in.
Yeah. It's like going to bed late at night and leaving your door open and go, "Ah, they're not gonna come rob my house. It's okay." You wake
Right.
up
I
in
trust everyone. Trust no
oh,
one.
trust no one, man. Trust no one. So these are little pointers, we're making fun of it right now, but it's some serious things that you guys need to think about, man. Because I don't know anyone who would go to bed at night and leave their door unlocked, their front door or back door. No one. You know, just even if you're not afraid of being robbed. You don't want any critters coming into your house. you know, you never know. Could be a snake. Could be a raccoon. You
Right,
know,
exactly. Whatever it is, you're closing your doors. You're not leaving your doors wide open. So just
exactly.
think of your computer as a front door, and your cell phone as a front door, and
Yeah.
make sure you're secure all of your button down those hatches, and make sure that you're protecting all of your information, because that can cause much damage to your business as well as your personal life.
And another thing you guys want to do, guys, you want to anticipate regulatory and contractual risk, meaning there might be certain regulations that's imposed on small businesses, but you want to inspect it. You want to review it, make sure there aren't any types of risk that you're exposed to. And with a contract, in a contract, it states that for like a construction contract, for example, they usually have what they call um, liquidated damages. And liquidated damage occurs when a contractor didn't perform his or her part of the project on time or within the specification of the contract. So now the owner is forced to charge them X amount of dollars. And that could be anywhere from $1,000 a day, to $2,000 a day. I've heard of $3,000 a day. I've never seen that, but that's a lot of money as a small business to pay. So these are some of the things you want to take a look at in terms of your compliance, in terms of the risk and trust, and the competitive advantage that you're trying to create within your business. Just remember that, man. You want to win work. You don't want, and you also want to reduce your customers' anxiety. If a customer knows doing business with you is a safe process, they don't have to worry about it. They don't have to worry about their data being sold or anything like that. Then that customer is going to do. You're going to have more of those customers doing business with you. But if they got to
Right.
worry about that, mm-mm,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you
not at
don't
all.
you don't want that. You want to make sure that you are that you're reliable, that you
Yeah,
are a business that they can trust in, and there's reliability, and that they feel comfortable referring you to friends and associates, because that really says a lot about you when
right.
when you have a client that have felt so confident and so comfortable with the business that you've done with them that
Yeah.
they then will turn around and then go out and refer you to their friends. That
Yeah.
is really, really important. So just want you guys to know that. Also, because that goes a long way. I mean, that you down further in this presentation, we're talking about relationships, and that's how you maintain great relationships, not just within your own customers, but within your community and with amongst the peers that you do business with. You want to make sure that you're always above reproach.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Mhm.
So I'm going to have my co-host speak to you about the next section, which is about niche authority and how it beats a broad visibility. And what that means is that if you have a niche in what you're going, like Pat, for example, Pat does um, notary services, right? So with notary, she specializes in certain areas for notary. But if she was going to go, okay, I do notary and I also do document control and I also do a little gardening over here and we also do landscape, then it's not going to work. Focus on one niche area. So my goals will talk to you guys about that.
Exactly. So niche. So you don't want to be the old model and the old way of thinking is I'm going to be everything and everywhere to everybody.
Yeah,
That is an old way of thinking. You have to narrow down your offerings to a niche or to a specialty that is unique to you and that provides credibility to your skills and how you provide those services for your client. So, by narrowing that niche down, you also eliminate a lot of your competition because
yeah,
this is your area of expertise, right? This is like being an incredible artist. There's tons of artists out there, but maybe you are specific in this particular area and this is what you become known for. No one can duplicate what you do, right? Because
yeah.
it's you. Same thing in my business. As I said, many of my colleagues are coaches, but they not me. They not me. So I have my own unique way of doing business and how I
There's
interact with
only
my
one of you,
customers,
co-host. Only one of you.
only one of me, and how I help them elevate. And so
Yeah,
that's one of the things that you want to establish your area of expertise, your niche. The one thing that you do so well, you do it without even thinking, to be quite honest. It is just what you
yeah,
do, right? And you're just good at it.
right.
Next is when, like with Gilbert, when someone's talking about contracts and procurement and how to go about it and how to do contracts and how to do their um uh what do you call it, your capability statement. I ain't trying to get in that lane. That is Gilbert's lane. So what I do is like you need to call Gilbert because this man, in my opinion, just like he speaks highly of me, I speak highly of him in the area of his expertise. In my opinion, there is no one that beats him in this space that he is. He has his own unique way of delivering, and he's not just telling you; he actually does it in his own business.
Yeah.
So I would never get in Gilbert's lane. I refer to Gilbert for his lane to people that are saying, "Hey, I want to do this," and I went, "Yeah, well, if you're gonna do that, I would suggest you talk to Gilbert first." So just to get clarity.
See,
The other thing is,
speaking of the sticking to your own lane, I'm gonna have you do number 5 also, co-host. AI
okay,
that's your lane right there.
that's my lane. Um, And then the other one is understanding and speaking the language of very specific buyers. So you got to communicate with people in language that they understand. And you know where this I see this happening a lot is when people are in a technical industry.
Yeah.
They start speaking to you in this tech code, and or as you say in AI code or whatever it is you speak in, and all of a sudden bankers do this all the time when they
Yeah.
come in to talk to small businesses about acquiring loans. You know, they go right there to your and it's important to your FICO score and to you paying your bills on time. And I sit there and I watch the people's eyes just glaze over because they're like, oh no, I don't want to hear that, right? Not you got to come at it softer. You got to come at it so you can say, okay, I'm here to assist you. Yes, there are certain compliances that you have to have in place, but let's talk about them before I shut you down in my language in the very first 10 minutes of our conversation. And so,
Co-host, as you were talking about banks, they tend to use certain jargon like LOC for lines of credit. But if the small business doesn't know that's what a line of credit is referred to, then they're going to say, "Oh, do you have any LOCs?" And the small business is going to go, "Huh? LOC? What's that?"
exactly. So understanding the language of how you're speaking to your potential customers is vitally important because you don't want to lose them. And they're not going to say, what is that? Because they're going to feel like they're ignorant, right? So they're not going to help you out there. You just got to understand who it is you're talking to and make sure you're speaking the language. So that means you got to listen well, right? So you understand how a person receives that information. And you want to make sure that you design offers for your repeated customers, no one-offs. You know, there's some places that one of the excellent Amazon is so good at this. If you have been shopping on Amazon, which most of us do, they will start populating your feed. Facebook does this, Instagram does this, YouTube does this because of Google. They start populating your feed with things that you like, that you have looked at, that you have purchased. So, and then they come up with these enticing offers that you just cannot turn down, right? So,
I often wonder, Coles, I might be looking at something on the internet, and then a couple of hours later, I see the same thing being offered to me at a price. I'm going, how did these guys know I was looking for this thing? What's going on here? Are they listening to our conversation?
They've seen your patterns. Your patterns are all open to the public. Man, they see your patterns.
Yeah.
So, and if you look, here's a perfect example of that. And this is a perfect example of a niche. So I love Korean drama.
Yeah.
And I watch it all the time. In fact, there's a few things that I watch that is not. But if you were to open up, if I were to give you the password to my Netflix, you're gonna open it up going, what the hell? My whole Netflix is Korean drama. You have to go way deep to see anything that's not Korean subtitled. So that is an offering. They new ones come up. Even my phone, Gilbert, populates what's the best K dramas that have been out there. What new ones are coming up. So it's neat. It's been neat. I've been niched.
They got you good, Cole. They got you good, man.
They got me good. So it's not about just marketing your business. It's understanding how you communicate and the deliveries that you make to your customers that is going to be something that they are interested in. Not just, I saw a great commercial the other day, and it was about a commercial, and they were saying, stop delivering heavy tool commercials to professional financial people. So, you get commercials that have nothing to do with you. So that's basically what it was saying. At first, I had to hear it a couple of times going, what are you talking about? So it comes this heavy, cool, big machinery, and it's a CPA office. Basically, it's saying, stop delivering commercials to people that have no need for those services or those products. Deliver very specific products to that very specific person that meets their need. That's basically what it said.
Right, right. So I think, co-host, since this is a 2 to 3 part series,
Yes.
I think we can do the next one, which is AI augmented human-led operations. We can do that one, and then we can continue next week.
That sounds
Some
fantastic.
more of these. Yes.
All right, so we're going to go through this one. So, next level employees, next level entrepreneurs are not thinking of replacing people with AI. What they're doing is they're thinking about elevating people with AI. In fact, today, I'm getting ready to do my winter entrepreneur program for kids. And so I was talking to one of my colleagues today on the they've updated and added some new presentations for the kids. And so one of the things they talked about is, don't think of your AI as a replacement of you or anyone else. Think of it as your think partner. It's helping you expand your thought processes, and which then therefore will help you expand your business. So AI can be used to help you draft proposals, not write them for you. You need to then go back and make sure that you're inserting your voice. But it can help you create and draft proposals, and draft is a very important word, and reports faster. It can help you analyze pricing, margins, and trends based upon what you do. It can help you automate your administration to keep you from working so hard at those menial routine tasks that take up so much time, like reading your emails. Also, scheduling. I use a scheduling app. I don't even talk to people about that at all. I just send my app over, and then that app will set up the appointment, and then it will set up in Zoom if I'm seeing them virtually. Then it will make sure it sets up, and my note taker's already set up. It is just so seamless, because if not, you're going back and forth and spending lots of time. And I don't do well with a lot of phone calling. I'm much better with emailing and you want to talk to me, schedule an appointment. I don't want to spend hours. And then on top of that, I don't have notes. So then I got to go through all kinds of other changes. But it also can improve your service. So there are Chat GPT, there's Claude, there's Copilot, there's Gemini. Some of the software that you use right now have incorporated AI in it. And so you want to become familiar with that. There are some really reasonable courses that are out there. There's one young lady, her name is Alicia. She is doing these big summits. You can go on Facebook and or YouTube, and she's advertising over there. Her course doesn't cost a lot, but you learn so much so that you understand what it is going to do for you. So it helps you, it enhances your creativity like you cannot believe. But instead of sitting there trying to figure out what you're going to write, put in some really effective prompts, and it will kick out some amazing information for you. Then you go through, you personalize it to your knowledge. But if you become really, if you're using Chat or Claude, and they become very comfortable with who you are, you tell them what type of business you do, everything that you get will start to sound like you, and it will be personalized, and they will ask you certain questions that say, hey, do you want me to do X, Y, and Z since you've asked me this question? And sometimes you hadn't even thought about that, but like, yeah, that's not a bad idea. Let's go in that direction. So um, AI is not going to change the value of humans because humans create, they have the ability to do critical thinking, they have the ability to make judgment decisions, they build relationships, uh, they lead, and they have some unique creativity that you cannot duplicate in a robot. So just understand that you're not going to be replaced. What you're going to be is you're going to incorporate a think partner to help you expand how you look at life, how you look at business, and how you want to grow your business. So with that, we're going to close out for today. And we're going to ask you guys to come back next week, bring some friends. You can also go over to our YouTube channel and you can actually go back over this in more detail. If you have any questions on any of the topics that we've covered, reach out to Gilbert and I and schedule an appointment. You can use our calendar links. You just reach out and ask for them, and then we will schedule a time to sit down and have a one-on-one with you. And then that way we can find out more about what your needs are. Also, if you want to be, if you have a great idea and a great business and you want to be on our show, we'd love to be able to have you as our guest. So reach out to us for that as well. I believe Gilbert is putting his contact information in the chat right now.
Yeah.
And then we're going to invite you to come back next week and join us again. We're kicking it off the year. Bring on some exceptional guests like we did last year, and we're going to help you think outside the box and be creative in your thinking, create systems, and take your business to the next level.
That sounds like a plan to me.
All righty. So with that, we're going to tell you, I'm going to stop this share right, y'all. And we're going to tell you how, let's see, delete that. Okay. Uh-oh. Yeah, here we go. We're going to tell you how to, where am I now? Get rid of this. Remove that. And we're going to tell you how to go to our YouTube channel. Here's our channel here. Go over there and hit that QR code and subscribe to our channel. Like this topic if you like this episode, if you enjoyed this episode. We also have we have like 9 years of episodes over on our archived on our channel. So anything you want to ask about, anything you need to know about, you can definitely find it out. You can go to our channel and find that out. So with that, Gilbert and I are going to sign off. We want to wish you a wonderful weekend, and we hope to see you next Friday at 3 o'clock on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn, wherever you want to catch us. We are there. We make it very convenient for you. And so we want to thank you for joining us today. We want to thank Pat, our weekly Miss Patricia, here every
Our ambassador.
Thank you, Patricia, our ambassador.
And is that also
who?
Is that Smith? She does very well.
All righty. So, Gilbert, any parting words before we say sayonara? Have a great weekend.
I would like to say we're on class number 8 of our mentorship program, and for this coming Tuesday from 5:30 to 7:30, and we're going to be covering proposals, how to write a winning proposal for government contracts. It's going to be a great class. And if you guys are not enrolled in the program, but you'd like to take just a specific class, that fee is $150 for that class. So if you want to take just this one on how to write a winning proposal, just let me know. I'll get you guys set up. It's $150, and you guys will get all the materials that we cover in that class. You know, it's you're gonna get the templates, you're gonna get sample proposals, you're gonna get all the guidance you need on how to write a winning proposal. So it's only $150 for that class. You don't have to worry about anything else. And yeah, that's what we're doing. And then series 2 will begin in April. But one of the things I want to point out to you, for those of you who haven't heard it yet, my co-host will be teaching QuickBooks on, I believe, February 10th. Let me see here real quickly. Yeah, so QuickBooks is February 10th, and that's going to be the last class of the program. So my co-host, Crystal Mitchell, will be teaching QuickBooks on that class. So if you guys never had a QuickBooks class before and you're looking to do some QuickBooks, February 10th, my co-host, she is a certified trainer in this region by QuickBooks. I don't know anybody else in this region that is a certified QuickBooks trainer than my co-host. So if you want it from the best, then you got to come sign up for this class, and she'll guide you guys about your balance sheets, your profit and loss, your financial statements, all of that good stuff.
And this is a good time because it's year end, and you want to make sure that you are in compliance and getting ready for your taxes. If you're in the city of Los Angeles, I don't know if you guys can see the little yellow card that comes from the city of Los Angeles.
Oh,
no
yeah.
later than February, was it January? What's the date?
February 28th, right?
January 1st, and is delinquent after March 2nd. So let's just do it before that time. But you do need to do your financials in order to report it. If you make under it's due if for $50,000. Let me see. Oh, they changed the number. Businesses with tax due of $50,000 or more will be directed to using e-check. Oh, I think it's $100,000, isn't it, Gilbert?
Yeah.
If you're making over $100,000, then you will have to pay.
If you make up to $100,000, you don't have to pay taxes, but you have to file it with the city of Los Angeles. That is, if you have a city of Los Angeles business license. But if you make $1 more than $100,000, then you pay taxes on the dollar.
Exactly. So you want to get that in. So if you haven't signed up, talk to us before you sign up. Talk to us before you go and get your LLCs to make sure you understand which structure you're getting, so that you can make sure that you're saving yourself on unnecessary fees. So with that, guys, we want to wish you a very a happy new year, 2026. We want you to have a off the chain year. We want to make sure that you're doing business at that next level. So come on back next week so we can help you do that. So we want to do next level entrepreneurship in 2026. So have a great time. This is from somebody team. Great show. I appreciate all the knowledge shared today. Thank you for joining us. Please come back. We got a whole lot of information to share with you next week.
Oh, this is AP. AP is in the mentorship program.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey, AP.
Osral Pittman.
Okay.
He does construction cleanup, and he used to work in Vegas, and now he's doing work in California. As a matter of fact, he used to be a member of NAMAC. He used to be one of those contractors at NAMAC. So yeah, he's doing some great stuff out there too. And I like what he's doing because he's trying to include his classmates in projects that he's working.
Oh, that's even better, because collaboration, we're going to talk about that. Collaboration in 2026 is going to take you a long way. So with that, guys, have a great weekend. We will see you next Friday. Enjoy. Stay out of trouble. Be safe out there. And we'll see you next week.
All righty then.
As a small biz pro, I saw we roll using procurement. As a small biz pro, I saw we roll using procurement, program, and control. As as a small biz pro, so we grow using procurement, program, and control. I'm a